The imperial palace of Draconith Prime stood silent on the evening of the Empress's 307th birthday. Once these halls had echoed with the roars of celebration, with courtiers bearing gifts of star metal and captured nebulae. Now, only the hum of anti-gravity generators disturbed the silence as Empress Valira sat alone in her crystalline wheelchair, staring at the twin moons rising over her empire. Her scales, once brilliant crimson that could shame dying stars, had dulled to the color of old copper. The accident that had shattered her spine 5 years ago had done more than rob her of flight. It had revealed the hollow loyalty of those who had once prostrated themselves before her throne. Dragons respected strength above all else, and a grounded dragon was no dragon at all in their eyes. Valira had dismissed her attendants hours ago. She preferred solitude to their poorly masked pity. The banquet hall, capable of hosting thousands, held only a single table with a modest cake synthesized by the palace's automated systems. No candles. Dragons breathed fire. They didn't wish upon it. She was reaching for a datapad to lose herself in administrative work when the proximity sensors chimed. Visitors at the palace gates. At this hour? The security feed showed something that made her pause. A human man and a small human child standing before the massive entrance, their hover transport parked behind them. The man wore the practical jumpsuit of a station engineer, tools still hanging from his belt. The child, no more than 7 standard years old, clutched a wrapped package with the fierce determination unique to the very young. Identification. Ronan Hale, civilian engineer, Station Gamma 7, her security system announced. No threat detected. No appointment scheduled. Valira's clawed finger hovered over the dismissal command, then stopped. Something about the scene held her attention. The man, Ronan, was adjusting his daughter's coat against the evening wind, his movements gentle despite his calloused hands. The child was looking up at the palace with wonder, not fear. Against her better judgment, Valira opened a comm channel. "State your business, human." Ronan looked directly at the security camera, his brown eyes steady. "Your Majesty, I'm Ronan Hale. This is my daughter, Lily. We heard it was your birthday. We thought you might like some company. How did you hear about my birthday? It's public record, ma'am. Part of the imperial calendar. Most folks don't pay attention anymore, but Lily here was learning about the Empire's history in school." He paused, seeming to choose his words carefully. She asked why no one was celebrating. I didn't have a good answer. Valira felt something twist in her chest, an emotion she'd thought long atrophied. "The palace is closed to visitors." "We're not visitors," the child piped up, her voice carrying clearly through the comm. "We're friends. Friends don't need appointments." Despite herself, Valira laughed, a short, sharp sound that startled her with its unfamiliarity. "Your daughter is bold." "She gets it from her mother," Ronan said softly, and something in his tone told Valira that story carried its own weight of loss. For a long moment, the Empress stared at the screen. Every instinct honed over 3 centuries told her to send them away. She was a dragon, a sovereign, a being of power and majesty. She didn't need the pity of lesser species, didn't need their awkward attempts at kindness, but she was also desperately, achingly alone. "The gates are opening," she said finally. "Follow the guide lights to the east wing." The wheelchair glided silently through the corridors as Valira made her way to one of the smaller reception rooms, the only one that didn't make her feel like a dying star in an empty cosmos. She arrived just as Ronan and Lily were being admitted, the massive doors dwarfing their human frames. Lily's eyes went wide as she saw the Empress, but not with fear. With fascination. "You're so beautiful," she breathed. Valira blinked, genuinely surprised. Beautiful. When was the last time anyone had called her that? "I am diminished from what I once was, child. My dad says that beauty isn't about being perfect," Lily said seriously, walking closer with the fearlessness of the innocent. "It's about being real. And you're the most real dragon I've ever seen." "She's the only dragon you've ever seen, sweetheart," Ronan corrected gently, though he was smiling. "That doesn't make it less true." Lily thrust out the wrapped package. "We made you something." Valira accepted it with careful claws, noting how Ronan positioned himself to assist his daughter without taking over. The wrapping was clumsy, clearly Lily's work, but done with obvious care. Inside was a hand-drawn picture. A dragon in a wheelchair, but this dragon was smiling, surrounded by stars and flowers. At the bottom, in a child's uncertain letters, "Happy birthday, Empress. You are still mighty." Something hot and wet touched Valera's cheek. She raised a claw to it in confusion. Tears. She was crying. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice rough. "I haven't. No one has—" "Hey," Ronan said quietly, moving closer. "It's okay. Birthdays alone are the worst. Trust me, I know." He glanced at Lily, who was now examining a holographic art piece with rapturous attention. "After my wife died, Lily made sure I never spent mine alone. Said everyone deserves to be celebrated. Even sad dads and, I guess, empresses." Valera looked at this human, this simple engineer who worked with his hands, who raised a child alone, who had somehow found room in his life to care about a forgotten dragon. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you really come?" Ronan met her eyes, and in them she saw a kindness so profound it hurt. Because loneliness is the one disease that works the same way on every species. And because kindness is the universe's rarest gift, so when you have a chance to give it, you should. "Can we stay?" Lily asked, returning to her father's side. "Can we have birthday cake with you?" Valera looked at them both. This broken family that had chosen to share their light with her darkness. She thought of her empty palace, her absent court, her centuries of pride and power that had left her here, alone on the evening that marked another year of her existence. "Yes," she said, and her voice was stronger now. "Yes, you can stay." As Ronan helped set up the modest celebration, and Lily chattered about school and dragons and the stars, Empress Valera realized something profound. Strength wasn't about flying or fighting or commanding fear. True strength was the courage to be vulnerable, to accept help, to let others in even when every defense screamed to push them away. The humans had taught her that. This engineer and his daughter, with their simple gift and simpler kindness, had accomplished what no dragon could. They had reminded her what it meant to be alive. When Lily asked, "Can we come back next week?" Valera didn't hesitate. "I would like that very much," she said, and meant it with every scale. In the end, humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tenacity. It was their stubborn, foolish, beautiful refusal to let anyone face the darkness alone.